My name is Dayel B, and you're watching The Courtney Hall Show.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Courtney Hall Show. I got my girl in the building, Dayel B, choreographer, dancer. What's going on?
Man, so much lately.
Yeah? Like what? Like what?
Well, I actually have a music video that I choreographed coming out real soon. The song is called Come Closer. It's by Brittany Balma. Shout out to Westbury alumni. She had a lot of the class of 2011, 2010, somewhere around that area in the building working on a project together. It was great, and it featured one of my favorite Afrobeat artists from right here in Houston. His name is C2. So that's my most recent project.
Okay.
In addition, I'm teaching, I'm learning. I have a lot of projects.
That's so good. Like, she's booked and she's busy. Okay, she's busy. That's good. So you're a teacher and you're a science teacher.
Believe it or not, yes.
Talk about that. Like, how interesting is that?
Okay, so 9 times out of 10, when someone asks me what I teach, they expect me to say dance, naturally. But I teach biology. I teach biology at Willowridge High School, 9th through 12th graders, and it is no short of interesting, okay? Teenagers are teenagers, and the high school ones especially, you know.
Do you ever get, like, confused as a student? Like, if you go into the school, do they say, do you work here or do you teach here?
Let me tell you a funny story. So, my very first year working there, I was 22 years old, so I was fresh on the scene, and I was actually walking along the hallway after school. And someone says, "Ma'am, where are you going?" And in the back of my mind, I'm like, my classroom.
Right, like.
But she's like, "You're not supposed to be in the building after hours, unattended. Are you going to a club? Are you going to a class? Do you have tutorials?" I was like, "Ma'am, I work here.
I work here. I'm your colleague.
Here's my ID. You know, can I go to my classroom in peace?"
Right.
And stuff like that happens all the time. I like to sit amongst my kids when I'm helping them. So sometimes people will come in and say, "Hey, where's the teacher?" And I'm just like,
"It's me."
Yeah.
Get out. Thank you. It's me. So how do you balance everything with teaching and then actually teaching dance as well?
Wow, that's a good question. It takes very, very careful consideration in terms of time management, because naturally I have to be at the school from 7 to 3, and we all know, if there's any teachers out there, that's just in theory, okay? Sometimes 3 can become 4 or 5, worst case scenario 6. And I have my after hours jobs. I'm leaving Willowridge and I'm heading to Houston Dance Factory or On Point Dance in Missouri City, or even Windsor Village, where I'm a choreographer at church. So in terms of time management, that is a very daunting task. But you know, I make time for everything that I do, because when I make a commitment, it is solid. Yeah.
So you actually choreograph for your church, and then you teach at a couple of studios as well.
Yes.
So do you ever get, like, overwhelmed?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you do? What is the first thing that
when
you
I'm
do?
overwhelmed?
Yes, when you're overwhelmed.
This is gonna sound super redundant, but I dance.
Okay.
That has it started off for me as a way to release. Whenever I was stressing about something as a child, dance, or specifically praise dance, was my way through that situation. So now in adulthood, dance has equally become a release, and at times a source of stress, because I have to have choreography ready. I have parents, I have kids to deal with, I have bosses to deal with, and in some cases I have artists to deal with, and it becomes a lot. You know, I always say the more people you involve in a project, the more work you have to do. Right. So whenever I'm feeling any type of way, whether it's stressed, frustrated, pressured, I dance my way through it. Just turn on some Alessia Cara, somebody inspiring, and let it go.
Yeah. So who do you look up to as far as dancing?
Okay, that's a good question too. I draw inspiration from a lot of different places.
Okay.
I will say, coming up, I was a huge fan of the infamous KK Harris.
Yes.
Wildebeest, Brian Friedman. Over time, though, I've kind of molded my own style based off of that, but also based off of whoever I work with. I worked with an artist named Queen Ace. She kind of gave me a more aggressive kind of choreography for her video, and that added to my repertoire. Then I worked with Toby Nwigwe. Shout out to him, because he's literally on tour right now.
Nice.
Get a ticket if you haven't.
I actually thought you were on tour with him, actually.
No.
Okay, because you're one of his dancers, though.
I was one of the original dancers.
Okay.
And over time, we, you know, kind of parted ways. I teach, and he does things literally all the time, and scheduling.
Okay,
problem.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I actually did not audition to proceed this next go round. But, you know, who knows what the future holds?
Right.
Because the Black Angels are phenomenal. They're headed by Carmen Jones and Tierra Blake, and I still have a great connection with them. So you never know what'll happen.
Wow. Now, you dance in the church, and then you also dance to secular music as well.
Facts.
And I am also torn because, you know, anytime that I have to do a performance to secular music, and I know where my faith is, it's like, it's a pull. What do you think about that? How is that for you?
You have to be comfortable in who you are and where you are to say yes and to say no. And I say that because there are all kinds of gigs where I'll sit back and I'll look and I'll say, man, I wish I booked that. You know, I know a lot of dancers, but then I hear the lyrics and I'm like, ooh, maybe not. Or I see the movement and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah.
you know? So that's why I say you have to be comfortable in where you are to say no, but also to say yes. For instance, Toby Nwigwe, when I went in that audition, I actually didn't think I was going to make it. But everything that he stands for, he may not be a gospel rapper per se, but he's a man of faith. And he, you know, he's not going to have us out there doing anything inappropriate. So what I believe in and what I believe myself to be is in direct alignment with everything that I choose to do. Does that mean I'm not going to have a heels class? Absolutely not.
Right.
Okay? Because when you want to let loose and be your, you know, sexy self, you know, God made that happen too.
Right.
Okay? Everything in its time and place. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
But either way, you know, you got to know who you are at the core of it all.
Now let's talk about your Eco Labs.
Eco Labs.
How did you come up with that? What was the inspiration?
I had someone tell me something about myself that I never realized. This is where I got the name. And she said I'm an ego constructor. And then I, you know, thought back to different people who've crossed my life, different people I've danced with, all the people that I've taught. And one common thread through the vast majority of people is that I've either inspired them indirectly or directly in some way, right? So ego constructor is kind of the title that I assume as a dancer choreographer, in that that's my goal. I don't just want to build you up physically. I want to build you up as a human. Who are you on the inside? Where are you? And where can we go from there when you're working with me?
Yes.
So the three styles I'm most comfortable with, contemporary, hip hop, and heels, are the Ego Labs classes, right? So execute is what I call the hip hop class. And, you know, naturally hip hop is about execution. The express, that would be the contemporary.
Okay.
And then the last one, the heels class. I'm sorry, express is the heels class.
Okay.
No, edified express. Yes. I'm gonna get this
It's
straight.
on her Instagram page.
It's on the Instagram page.
So you can go on there and we can look.
Yes.
But I want to know, like, everybody's teaching heels nowadays.
Everybody, yes.
So how do you know who's a good choreographer? What constitutes a person as a good choreographer, or a good person to go learn, you know, choreography, heels, whatever from?
So I honestly would judge based off of your personal needs before I judge the choreographer, because I wouldn't dare say that any one choreographer is necessarily better than another. But if you're looking for really rudimentary, beginner level, this is your first time coming to a class, then, you know, we don't need to be with, you know, Aisha Francis or someone big name, someone who's really advanced. Whereas if you know you've been dancing for a long time, you know how to get your sexy on, then we can feel more comfortable in a more advanced class. But in terms of Houston Hills choreographers, obviously other than myself, we have a number of great ones.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite.
Who's your top two?
My top two.
Yes.
I love T. Lynn.
Okay, yes.
I'm going to use her
Yes.
business name on camera. I love
Yes.
T-Lynn, and she's been killing it lately.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing it. And secondly, there is an instructor at Soundbox. I'm not familiar with her name, but she's a little Hispanic girl. She is amazing
Okay.
at what she does. And that one's more beginner level. So I'm giving y'all a little bit of both, okay? T-Lynn, definitely want to be an experienced dancer, but in terms of beginners, Soundbox Studios, you want to hit them up.
Okay, nice, nice. Now, speaking about Houston choreographers and
Yes.
dancers, do you think that there's like a divide? Do you think everybody's like happy-go-lucky, like all together, kumbaya? Or do you think like it's hard to work with certain people?
I think it's a little clicked off, I'll say. I'm not going to say anybody's particularly difficult to work with, because I've definitely worked with some of the in-crowd Houston dancers before. They're great humans, right? But I also take it upon myself personally to build up people who aren't in that in-crowd. A lot of the girls that I work with are people who, they're college students, and they're coming home, and they're really good dancers, but they're not necessarily professional dancers. That professional atmosphere is really, really close-knit, and it's hard to break into. Even with the gigs that I've gotten, I'm still not completely in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I kind of dance between the two.
Yeah.
I like to be a liaison. There's some girls that I work with on every project. One's name is Alexia. The other's name is Juliana. They don't really have professional names quite yet.
Okay.
We gonna work on it.
Yeah.
But
You
I
have a
ride
dancer
with
with you
them
now?
for everything. Shout out. That's Alexia.
Yes.
But I literally pull them for everything, whether it is at church, a music video, a live performance. If I can, I will. Because they're dope, and they're not really in the scene like that.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So now you're taking on this mentor hat too.
The ego constructor.
Yes. Is it, I mean, do you, well, some artists, they say, I'm not like a mentor. I'm not a role model. Don't follow me because if I mess up, I don't want to be, I don't want to be in charge, or I don't want to be over the way you carry your life or whatever. I don't know. Do you feel that way as well?
That is a legitimate concern. Okay, it's one thing to be good at something. It's completely separate to be a good mentor or teacher. That is completely separate skill sets. For instance, back in the Gap, I played piano. Do I know how to do it? Yes.
Okay.
Can I teach you?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have certain skills that I know I'm not comfortable enough with to share with someone else. In terms of dance, in terms of life, getting through stuff, that's what I'm here for.
Now, who are you dating?
Aha! We're doing that?
Yeah.
I'm single.
Are you single?
I'm single.
You're
Like- Single.
Well, you don't have to have a ring on your finger to be single.
Big facts. However, when I say single, I meant both singles.
Okay. So, I mean, would you date being a dancer? Would you date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's one thing.
But it's hard to be a dancer and date, right?
That's why I just adjusted my seat.
Okay.
Yes. Because the way my schedule is set up, and there are some men, if y'all see this, I'm sorry. There are some men who have already kind of been like, you know what, let's not. Or I have been, you know what, let's not. Because scheduling is ridiculous. And, you sound a little rude when you say I'm free in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Even though that's my reality. Like I said, Willie Ridge High School every day of the week. I'm dancing every evening,
Yeah.
except for maybe Tuesday. And
Yeah.
who wants to go out? I gotta go to work in the morning.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So finding the time to commit to someone else, am I willing? Absolutely. Do they need to be flexible? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It kind of goes both ways. So that's what I always say. You really find out how much someone is worth to you based off of the time that they're willing to put in. So I'm there. I'm feeling you. That's going to be what it is.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, if I have to be at the studio, I will be.
Right. Okay. So what's next for you? Other projects coming up besides your
So,
video?
Yes, I cannot wait till that comes out.
Yes.
But I am actually in the process of building a dance crew. with a childhood friend, which is really
Vixen,
cool.
right? Vixen?
It's called Vibe.
Oh, Vibe.
It's
Okay,
called
okay.
Vibe.
Okay.
Vibe Dance Company.
Okay.
Yes. And like I said, I was in 5th grade when I met him. He was in 4th grade. Went to school with his big brother. We were in the same grade. And we literally just kept running into each other. You know, we went to Rice together, went our separate ways, ended up at Westbury High School together, went our separate ways, came into young adulthood, moved back here after college, and here he is again. So now we're building something together, and it so far has been a really interesting road.
Okay.
Creating a team is difficult, but I have full faith that once we go through our audition process at the beginning of December, that we'll have a pretty solid system going.
Yes.
And we're both bomb choreographers. I've been shouting myself out this whole video. His name is Paul Oritz. He's super cool.
Yes.
So yeah, we're a
Now
good
you
team.
had another dance team as well. What happened there?
Another dance team.
Did it just kind of evolve into something else?
Yes.
Okay,
So
okay,
we
gotcha.
decided to go co-ed, which
Okay.
is why we changed the name from Vixen.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we don't want the men.
the man to be like, wait a minute.
That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, wait a minute. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
We
Okay.
made an executive
That's gonna
decision
be
to
a
go
really-
co-ed.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good team. So
Yes.
if you want to audition, or if anybody wants to audition, how can they do that?
Okay.
Where can they go?
So you want to hit us up on Instagram. Let us know you're interested. Now, my personal Instagram is Dayel B _. That's DAYELB _. It's my middle name, last initial. It's a strange name. Or you can hit us up on the actual Vibe Dance Company Instagram, which is vibe.danceco. Or CO. We know how to spell co.
Now, where did you get your name from?
Dayel.
Yeah.
Funny story, okay? My dad wanted a boy, and clearly I'm not.
Right.
So in the process of naming me, we had some tension, right?
Okay.
My mom was leaning towards Vondolin, and he wanted to name me after him. So there was a lot. His name is Robert. He said no to Vondolin. Somehow Brianna came up. I don't know where that came from.
Oh.
But his middle name is Dale.
Okay.
Right? Dale. And I became Dayel because Roberta is not cute.
Oh yeah, no, that would have no.
I'm not vibing it. You
Yeah,
know?
no, that's not a vibe.
I don't like it. If your name is Roberta, I'm sorry, by the way.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so what would you say to your younger self
Oh,
if
man.
you could talk to her?
I wish I could. I would tell her to always stretch because things get real when you get old. I would also tell her to... No, seriously. It's
No, I
hard.
understand.
It's hard
I know.
out here in these streets and in these studios.
Yes.
But I would also tell her that she really needs to commit to herself. Listen to your parents. That was one thing I did right, but I didn't make many commitments to myself coming up. So little me and all the little people out there, commit to yourself. If you want to do something, do it. Point blank, period. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And where can we follow you? How can we support you?
Yes, I am Dayel B _ on like everything. And again, that's D as in dog, AYEL, B as in boy _
Yes. Well, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And thank you all for watching another episode of The Courtney Hall Show.